You guys have been asking for it, so MSI sent over their GTX 1070 Gaming X. Now it's a pretty awesome card, and we're obviously going to take a look at it in the video, but to give you a bit of a heads up, well, it performs ridiculously well, especially at 1440p and even 4K. So as usual, the back of the box has all of the new features, including the custom LED lighting and the MSI gaming app that you'll need to change from gaming mode to OC mode if you want a little bit of extra performance. In terms of the card itself, it's actually pretty nice, sports pretty much the same cooler as the GTX 1080 with the two 90mm fans, which means they can spin a little bit slower while still moving the same amount of air and be a little bit quieter too, which is quite nice. You also have some LEDs around the second fan and on the side of the card that I'll show you in a bit more detail later. In terms of specs, this has 1920 CUDA cores, a boost clock in OC mode of 1797 and a core clock of 1607, and 8GB of non-X GDDR5, the kind of standard or plain flavour of your GDDR5 VRAM. The backplate is pretty awesome too, with the MSI dragon as well as the MSI logo, and some nice cutouts that just generally look pretty awesome. The rear area is comprised of a DVI-D port, HDMI 2.0 port, DisplayPort 1.4, there's 3 of those, which means you can run nice multi-monitor setups, but also have other options. And if you want to use a VR headset, that HDMI port is there for you. Now you also have a rather beefy heatsink design on the side and an MSI logo that does light up, and an 8+2 pin power connector design, which means that you do have a bit more overclocking headroom with one of these cards, which is very nice. Now the card itself, once it's in the system, as said, does light up. You have the MSI logo on the side and the sort of dragon claws on the back fan. These can both be changed colour wise in the MSI gaming app software, but there are red bits of plastic on the card, so if you're planning on trying to colour match it, do bear those in mind. In terms of temperatures, this was a pretty awesome card. Didn't go over 68 degrees in all of my testing, and even while under full gaming load was actually really quiet, and with the fan stop software meant that the card wasn't all that loud either, especially when you weren't using it too much. In terms of performance, this is a killer 1440p card, and for the longer term as well. It does a great job even at ultra settings with literally everything maxed out, and for example Dirt Rally, and even with stuff like GTA where it's sort of very high settings, it still does a fantastic job and can even just about hit 4K games pretty nicely. So yeah, if you're looking for a rather awesome, definitely performing card, but you don't necessarily have £700 or dollars to spend, then this is a pretty awesome shout, and obviously you can pick up another one in the future and get even better performance. I expect with stuff like Doom on ultra settings, if you had 2 of these, they'd be fantastic for 4K gaming, but nonetheless it's still pretty fantastic for 1440p, and if you want to go overkill, 1080p is still an option. So I've got to say, I really do like the card. In terms of performance, as you just saw, it does a really good job at beating 1080p and 1440p games with a big sledgehammer, and I suspect if you had 2 of them SLI, then 4K would be a very nice experience for you. In terms of temperatures, the card was sitting at a maximum of 68 degrees under full gaming load, which was very nice. It was actually very quiet as well with the fan stop sort of technology, so that when the card is not being used or not that hot, it won't run the fans at all. So overall, even under load, it was still pretty quiet. Now, it's still very hot to touch. I mean, I'm actually deliberately not taking it out of the rig like I would normally do once I've finished testing, because it is just too hot to touch. And for me, it feels like there could be a sort of longevity issue there, just in terms of how hot the card gets on a regular basis, because the fans don't turn on and kind of dissipate the heat on their own. But it's not a massive issue. It's just going to be something I'll put in the con section just to fill it out, because there really isn't much wrong with it. So yeah, I guess that's that. The lighting is quite nice. It's a very nicely styled card. I do very much like the look of it. The fact that it has the extra 6-pin connector as well as the 8-pin means that there is still some overclocking headroom. And while I'm not including any overclocking results, because as I've said in many other videos, I am literally the worst at overclocking. In fact, I've broken things that I've tried to overclock, so yeah, just check one of the many other overclocked reviews for one of these cards. But yeah, nonetheless, it's very nice. It's a stylish card, a great performance, and at a pretty decent price, especially for the performance that you get with it. So I guess that's that. In terms of value for money, I'm actually going to go with a 5 here. It really is a fantastic card for the FPS numbers you get, and in some games, especially on high as opposed to ultra settings, you can very, very easily get 60 FPS at 4K, so that is something to be aware of, which is very nice. In terms of performance, it's going to be a 5. Functionality, I'm going to go with a 5 as well. Style has to be a 5, and TechteamGB score is going to be a 5 as well. It's going to get a gold award because it really is an awesome card. I do love the look of it. It's a very nicely performing card, so I guess that's that. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe. If you're planning on picking one of these up, be awesome if you use my Amazon affiliate link. I'll include a link down below to this product, but there's also the more general link if you want to check that one out when you're buying anything else. And yeah, I guess that's that. As I said, subscribe if you haven't already and you enjoyed the video. If you didn't, feel free to dislike, but let me know why in the comments down below so that I can improve for next time. And yeah, I guess that's that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.